Okay, everybody, welcome back. So we've still got all that noise at my place, so we're doing a little video out and about and just show you around pretty close to my spot. So I actually live just on the other side of that blue building on the water over there. And here we are in Glebe. So this blue building here is the old Sydney fish markets, and that is surprisingly the most visited tourism spot. Now, I'm not sure if it's just New South Wales or whether it's Australia, but I'll find out. And currently we're coming to the end of the build of the new markets over here. So, which is all that. Which, funny enough, they've only just signed the contracts to move over because even though it looks beautiful, apparently it's not as practical for the fishermen in the boats to unload their catches and get it into the fish markets for sale. And here they've got to use elevators and everything. But it's really beautiful. It'll be lovely. There's a big boardwalk going around all the way to the city. And this is Blackwattle Bay. Now we're going for a little walk around. So behind us we have, or if you have a look just over here, so we've got the Anzac Bridge there, which is my favourite bridge in the whole of Sydney. Sydney Harbour Bridge is just on the other side of these buildings. And then you've got Barangaroo's, that big silver thing sticking up there, which is the building I hate in Sydney. It's a casino, but you can tell that a man designed it. And then you've got Sydney's tallest building is the Westfield one over there, that's Centre Point Tower. And you can actually, one day we'll go up there and eat, and it has a revolving platform. And you can actually, I walked around the outside of it, but I nearly had a heart attack. So I doubt whether I'll do that again, but maybe I'll get one of the boys to do it. And they go, oh, you can't take cameras outside, that's right. So anyway, that's part of the tribal warrior group, this boat over here. They do a lot of cultural tours and that. And back in the day, I used to volunteer with them. I occasionally work on like New Year's Eve and that. But I used to volunteer, and they do a lot of training of young people. So I'll do a story about them in another day. So behind me here, this building right here, is the old Glebe Rowing Club. So they still actually use this club. And 1879, it's where the boats come out of, you know. And then there's a restaurant over here to the right, this grey building. And if we come around here, you'll see the kayaks and everything in the rowing boats. And this is here, started in, I love this sculpture here. It's beautiful. Maybe get some of that. And this is in all the old days. So we can probably stop now. Maybe take a photo of that. Yeah, these microphones aren't great. That mic. Okay, so here's the other side of the boat shed, and there's more of Tribal Warrior and the Anzac Bridge. And then if we come up here, I'm going to show you really interesting about this area. Okay, so this is the Walter Burley Griffin incinerator, and this is what's left of it. So up until, I don't know, for 50 years they were incinerating garbage here, and then they would take it out on the boats and just dump it out in the ocean. And this was the last one standing, and I think somewhere here it says it was decommissioned in the 1940s. So right up to the 1940s, they were still, it was the last one in Sydney. They were still burning the rubbish and then taking it out to the ocean and just dumping it in the ocean. So this spot here is lovely. It just looks out over the whole of the city over night time. This is just beautiful here. And I love it because I love these units behind us. Wouldn't you love to live in one of them? So over night time, this is all lit up like a fairy wonderland, and they're overlooking where the boats come in. So it's really spectacular, I think. You can't even think of the prices of these places. But right next to the old incinerator. It was worth nothing many years ago. All right, let's go. Ferry goes to, I think it goes to Barangaroo or Darling Harbour. Anyway, one of them. So this is Bellevue Cottage. It's a little cafe now. Used to be an old historic house. Anyway, so this is my favourite bridge. I said, this is my favourite bridge, and isn't that just beautiful? It's lovely to go and have a coffee and overlook everything. All right. So now we're coming round to the working side of the harbour. And, yep. I don't know what to say here.
It's okay.
It's just the working side of the harbour. I think this is still all Blackwattle. I'm thinking. I should know. And then White Bay's on the other side, over near those lights. Doesn't have any signs on it, but it's an old crane. They used to unload the boats or load the boats from the shore. I think they used to do wool out of here or something like that. But it's just a beautiful spot for people to walk around. One of the oldest towns in Sydney. Everybody with their dogs. And they're doing all regeneration of native species. So, that's the back of those old houses. And here, I think, used to be a barge, or this is where they used to pull the barges in that used to take the stuff out to the boats. Something like that anyway. It's not far off working still, you know, really. But look at this. Yeah, that would have been a barge on the water to get from one side to the other before Anzac Bridge was there, maybe. And then progress is all these flats and stuff. These all used to be old mansions once upon a time. So anyway, that was a bit of a walk around, just maybe half of the park that we went to, and just needed a break from the unit with all that construction going on, and thought I'd show you. There's a couple of things. Okay, so on the weekend we had more marches and protests, and one of them was pretty disgusting actually, and it was basically led by neo-Nazis, and I think the guy's name that started it all, Reclaim Australia and No Immigration and whatever. Look, you've got to look at all these things and make sure immigration's at a level that we can sustain, yes, but we don't need neo-Nazis saying that they want Australia for whites. Who is he? I'm pretty sure his name's Thomas Sewell. Anyway, if it's not Thomas Sewell, it's Tim Sewell, but we're going to put it up on the screen. So what needs to happen with him, all right, is they need to deport him to where he was born. He's not even Australian. He's a white New Zealander, and I think they need to send him back to New Zealand and let the Indigenous Maori, or I can't even say it properly, but the Maoris of New Zealand deal with him and his white supremacist bullshit. All right, guys, so that's it for our little walk around, and sorry I got on a bit of a rant about our latest protests. We've still got the Free Gaza one going on, and there's been lots of movement, but it just, you know, like we've got the flotilla that's just gone out with Greta Thunberg, I think her name is, the young girl that was the environmental activist. But this time, instead of one boat, I think there's about 70 that have left one of the ports in Spain, headed for the Gaza Strip. So good luck to you guys, and whether you make it or not, you're bringing attention to it, and eventually the leaders of the world will finally say enough's enough, hopefully. I don't know what the UN Council is about anymore. I used to think highly of the UN Council, but these days I'm thinking it's just a lot of people getting paid for nothing, all right? Other than the lady in Slovenia. She got up and she gave it to them all. And I don't know her name, but we'll see if we can put that up on the screen as well. So if you want to see what's going on there, we'll try and put some links in. But anyway, this was the video for today, because as you know, it's one a week, because I'm determined. And next video, we're going to have a little bit of a talk about fear and its acronym, which I just love. And it's false evidence appearing real. And it just suits people like me that suffer with anxiety and those type of things. So next video, we're going to talk about that. We were going to talk about it today, but you got this beautiful view. What more could you want, hey? And be blessed and grateful, and I'll see you all next week.